Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and I've got a lot of tabs open, so I have to fly high. If I get stuck on the ground, I'll never get through it all. I'm going to give you enough information, I hope, that will give you the start to do your own research. And should you want to go down a rabbit hole, you will be able to get a good starting point for the important function and role that market makers have in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, not just for Ripple and XRP, but for everybody. I also want to look at the challenges that the market makers have, along with others, when it comes to market manipulation. What exactly is being done to improve the trading environment? Here we are on the Ripple Insights page, and we can see that for Ripple, market makers are specialists, and they are specialists in international fund settlement for liquidity. They bear the burden, meaning they hold the risk of the ownership of XRP to provide that optimal efficiency. The optimal efficiency is the easy in, easy out, on and off ramps of getting XRP bought and sold. So in other words, they, meaning Ripple, they let the specialist specialize. So providing the marketplace for settlement, Ripple allows the market makers to compete. They compete. Market makers compete against other market makers. They compete in order to provide banks and their corporate customers liquidity. This way, companies like Ripple can focus on what they do best, which is build great products while selling them at better prices. So the role of the market maker is key. They provide liquidity. They also provide reduced spreads. And their main activity is to create a healthy, active market for both buyers and sellers. The market makers are the retailers of price. They run the shop. They compete with each other for that business, meaning that the only way they make money is when the trade goes through their books, even if they have to reduce their margins. It's getting all very sophisticated now, too. For example, the platforms are created to buy and sell through APIs. Some even allow a plug-in to comparable existing OTC and FX markets. You can do small trades, or you can do multi-million-dollar blocks. So who is it that uses the market makers? Well, cryptocurrency broker-dealers do, exchanges do, some banks do, and some fund managers do. And who are the market makers? Well, we're going to take a look at that. But first, let's take a peek at an AMA that took place 10 months ago, where David took questions from the community, and I posed this question here. It was when Bittrex, Bitso, and Coins.ph was announced that they were the preferred liquidity providers and exchanges that were going to be providing that service. And I was a little fuzzy. I just didn't know for sure. So how much XRP was actually needed for each of these exchanges to provide that maximum benefit of liquidity in all their transactions? And did they keep the XRP on hand, and was it reused, or did they need to regularly go and make a purchase? I just didn't understand, and this was the answer that I got. So for XRapid to work, there has to be sufficient liquidity between XRP and the local fiat currency to permit fiat currency to be bought and sold as needed. So again, it's that that in and out availability. A lot of this liquidity is already being provided organically by market makers. XRapid will just mean that instead of trading almost exclusively with speculators, market makers will increasingly trade with market takers, trying to source liquidity through XRP. If needed, Ripple will consider employing third-party market makers to provide additional liquidity where existing market making is insufficient. And also, if you follow David on Twitter, boy, I'll tell you, he is so kind with his time. He answers a lot of questions, probably the same questions over and over again. Here he says that most of the value of Ripple, the company, comes from the XRP that they hold. But the particular question is this one that says, take, for example, your MoneyGram deal. Will MoneyGram go on the exchanges and buy the XRP, hence driving price? And he says that, well, there are the market makers who will want to facilitate the payments. They would do it. Okay, so, but market makers who want to facilitate their payments would. The difference is subtle. I think the impact is actually greater if market makers do it than if the financial institutions do it directly, because the market makers create public liquidity pools that multiple financial institutions can draw off of. This is really, really key. So the more liquidity pools exist around the globe in corridors that will service those global remittances, the better. So I get it now. I really do get it. And here you can see that there is an image from the Ripple Salent. Salent is a consulting company that Ripple has a working relationship with. You can see here on the left that we've got a process where there's a lot of friction. There is no market maker, so there are multiple stops. It's slow, it's costly, and on the right-hand side, you can see where the process is optimized. You've got a market maker in the middle, so that US-based bank can send to the market maker then can transact directly to the Japanese-based bank, creating a very low-cost, fast, smooth transaction. All right, and who are these market makers? Well, this is GSR. They are very interesting because it was founded by Christian Gill. Christian Gill he's an ex-Goldman Sachs guy, but in 2013, he was actually approached and he created a company to serve as the primary XRP market maker. He now, though, has grown up. He has 40 different employees across 3 continents, and he's a shop that shows the price to buy and the price to sell, enabling the participants to enter or exit easily. His clients are miners, exchanges, family offices, institutions, charities, and high net worth individuals. Do you know that 99% of the exchanges, they will not tell you who they are trading with, because anonymity is very much key in this world. But the GSR group, they traded about $5 billion last year, so they are very busy. He was asked, what relationship between prices and volume does he see? And he said that price and volatility drive volume. Interesting. So I also want to introduce to you someone else who just recently got a new position to spearhead market making in the United States. This is Rob Catalanello. He is got an amazing financial background. So these are the types of people that are entering the space. He was once with Goldman, JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, and also the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. He'll be based in the United States for the company B2C2. They are in London. They are one of the most experienced market makers in the world, and they were the first to offer a native electronic OTC desk. If you want to do a rabbit hole research, you can find that they provide that crypto liquidity for Bitcoin, Litecoin, BCH, XRP, and Ethereum Classic, and they pair it to more than 8 different fiat currencies. So how do they make money? I'm jumping back to the Ripple website, and you can see this article from 2015. There's various ways that a market maker makes money. Of course, the classic buy low, sell high, and they make money on that spread. Also, there's directional plays where they hold the inventory and then they can profit if the market moves favorably. There's also arbitrage. I think from when this article was written in 2015, arbitrage was much greater than it is today. I think it's getting thinner and thinner, but you still can capture the difference in price on various platforms. And so when we also look at the market makers that are in the world of exchanges, Coinbase Pro is one that provides that liquidity. They just released a new fee schedule on March 22nd. And here you can see Kraken. Kraken is very transparent. They're getting good ratings. They provide that maker-taker fee schedule. It's built to encourage traders to engage with the market to drive maximum liquidity. Here you have the fees for straight trading, stablecoin, dark pool, and margin fees. Now, I mentioned dark pool. It's not as dark as it may sound. 40%, according to this Wall Street Journal article, 40% of all trades in the U.S. traditional stock market are done off the exchange. So the fact that it happens in crypto is not unique. To sell, traders don't want to tip off the broader marketplace. They fear that it'll result in them getting a worse price. So they seek out these dark pools to execute their trades. There are more than 30 dark pools for stock trading, according to the Wall Street Journal, and some of the largest ones are UBS, Credit Suisse, and JP Morgan. So when we look at who is specializing in dark pools for crypto, this is actually a company called Hivex. They're in Australia. And they tell us that XRP makes up only 4%, according to this date of April 2019, only 4% of the total cryptocurrency space. So you compare that to Forex, that's 6,000 times less, which means large transactions can easily move the market, and then you get slippage. So the price at the top of the book, which is the cheapest, versus that next price is where you get that slippage. So as little as 350,000 XRP in trade can cause a range of 1.4 to 2% on a bad day of slippage. A million XRP, oh my gosh, the slippage could be as high as 21%, which results in paying 170,000 more than you would need to if you did it OTC. That is why these dark pools exist. And the fact that a lot of them specialize in matching buyers and sellers to eliminate that slippage, it's just quite common. Now, does this dark pool harm price discovery? There are two different camps, two different beliefs. The jury is out. I'm going to provide very good, well-written articles to this exact question, and both are opposing each other. The first one comes from an MIT Sloan School of Management student, and another point of view comes from a Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and this one is a very famous paper, actually. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole with this topic, these are two papers that I think would be a must read. So now let's look at the market manipulation. There are many ways to manipulate the market. Of course, there's the pump and dump. That's the oldest trick in the book, where you buy a massive amount to drive the price up. You get out first, and then the price dumps, and all the people who are uninformed and just were jumping on that pump are left with bags that are less than they bought for it. It's it's really sad, because it still happens often today. There's wash trading. Wash trading is when the exchanges buy and sell on the same platform at the same price. They distort the volume. The whales also can pump and dump. This is a very small market the market cap is very small. So for whales to move the price, it's really a walk in the park for them if they want to do it instead of going OTC. Then you have those people who do long and short liquidation hunting. This is through leverage trading. They try to trigger the liquidation of those long and short positions. And of course, you have the dark pool trading, which some people think is manipulative. And of course, as I showed you in that second paper, not everybody believes that it is. But the fact is that it goes under the radar, and the result is no official volume is reported. And then you have shilling. I think everybody's familiar with people out there that are hyping a coin or project to influence buyers. And we have the opposite of shilling too. We've got people and companies that are writing FUD articles to drive the price down. McAfee actually revealed last year that he was paid $100,000 per shill on Twitter, per shill to his 900,000 followers. That's just unbelievable. And there's also, I don't know, it probably is very controversial for me to say, but there's the Palm Beach Confidential. For a year subscription, you get a monthly that costs $5,000. And Tika, who is the editor, he does say here that if he doesn't give you the chance at total gains of 1,000%, then he will work for free by simply contacting him, and he'll give you 1 extra year of the membership at no cost whatsoever. But I think, you know, anybody who makes a recommendation, it is a form of shilling. I think shilling comes in many different ways. And then you have spoofing. This is also a big problem. This is when the buy and sell walls are not accurate. There is a massive number of buy and sell orders that are resulting in fake buy and sell walls. What I mean is that the orders are canceled before they execute. So it may look like the sell wall is steep and high, but in actuality, it's not. So this is one of those parts of manipulation that when you look at the buy and sell walls, just keep in mind that you're not always looking at an accurate picture. All right, so what is being done? Well, there are some companies that are really moving fast and furious to correct this. So according to the Blockchain Transparency Institute estimates that in their report, this is a very recent report, it's very good, 80% of the top 25 Bitcoin pairs by volume listed on CoinMarketCap are driven by manipulation. 6 billion of the daily digital asset trading volume is fake in that wash trading. So serious participants in this new emerging market class are seeking effective ways to strengthen the integrity. Jay Clayton, in November, the SEC chairman, said he wanted an effective market surveillance solution against this manipulative behavior. And the Solidius solution, the Solidius Labs, is one I want to point out. They are utilizing a machine learning detection, reducing false positive alerts. And they also attended the panel in June at the SEC's first FinTech Forum in Washington, D.C. And I'm happy to report that they also received $3 million in a seed round of funding in February, where they're going to try to tackle digital asset market manipulation. So who are their customers? Because this market manipulation has been a very hot button for the SEC. And I do believe the market integrity is key for the growth of this space. Well, their customers are going to be market makers, fund managers, exchanges, and the broker-dealers. They have the goal to satisfy this intensifying regulatory oversight with high compliance standards. I really am following them. I think that should you want to do more research in who is working hard to correct this space, it's very exciting to see the work that's done. All right, everybody, let's see. I don't want to do that one, but I do want to remind you that Hodar came out with his new blog yesterday, and of course it is something you just can't miss. Hodor is one of the best bloggers when it comes to capturing what is going on in this space, and this one is very, very good. And it also highlights Leonidas. He has also done a quarterly recap, and I think his quarterly recap is actually better than Ripple puts out. So do catch both of them because it's all fresh and full of the updates that have occurred. I truly think the last 3 months in this space for Ripple and XRP has been the most amazing thus far. All right, and one more community thing to tap on, and that is there is a new poster out there. It's an XRP community poster. It's the 2019 version, has over 500 plus members from around the world. It's listed A through Z. You can get it on paper on a glossy poster for just $59 euro plus shipping. It's big. It's 23 inches by 33 inches or 84 by 59 centimeters. You can also get it in a digital version for a little bit less, just 29 euro. It covers the people who are on Twitter, YouTube, XRP chat, websites, and blogs. There's also a special edition version available where you can put your mug right in the middle or the center of the poster. It's just for a little bit more. You can pay by XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, wire transfer, Revolut, or Wire X. Yeah. And if you think you should be mentioned in the version coming out for 2020, you can contact a status. my brain went frozen for a moment. You can contact status. I'll put the link down in the description below, and you'll be able to tell him, hey, I think I need to be added because this is what I'm working on. All right, everybody, let's jump to the fluff. We are going to Kyoto because there is something very special in Kyoto, and that is a community of townhouses called machiya. These traditional wooden houses are actually found all throughout Japan, but Kyoto has some of the best preserved and maintained machiya in all of the country, and they are typified in the city here. The style dates back actually to the 1200s, and it is a style that continued through the turn of the century. And if you love old Japan, then Kyoto is a place you need to visit. Here is an example. This is an old Edo period style. You can see these are the machiya. They're all connected, and it created a sense of community. Each of them provided a storefront or shop where the merchants would sell in these very narrow streets. The back was used for living, and the second floor often was used for living as well. But the point is that I'm sticking with this community theme. These houses created a very strong sense of community, many of which were defined by a single craft. So in a row, you might have all the textile sellers, and in the back side, you might have all the rice sellers, and on the left side, you might have the ceramic sellers. Kyoto has taken some of the strongest efforts to preserve them, and that actually, one of the people to thank is Alex Kerr. He's an American. He lives in between Kyoto and Thailand, but he has restored many. Actually, one of his restorations was one that was 400 years old. Unbelievable. 40% of these have been demolished or altered, which is really a shame, but that's starting to change. Here is what a example of them might look like, and this is a real picture. Since 2005, there was a Tokyo-based benefactor actually that started the movement. They designated them since as structures of scenic importance, and now they're protected and you must get permission to change them. The community currently plays a new role in helping to restore, maintain, and preserve them through financial assistance. And I think I have another really great shot. This is, I believe, Kyoto. They are, yeah, they are really something to see and something to save. They, on the inside, sometimes can be converted. This one has been converted in Kyoto to a craft brewery. Yeah. And yeah, why not? This is today's version of a storefront, and it's just great that it's being utilized and it's not just falling apart, empty. Here is one that actually has been converted into a coffee house and restaurant. Look how nice it is. They have these very special earthenware walls, and it's always very warm and full of lots of wood inside. I've been in a few of them. Yeah, it's just, I personally just love them. And I'm so glad to see that they're being saved. Look at that food. The food in Kyoto, by the way, is just so beautiful in terms of presentation. It in itself is probably worthy of a separate fluff story. And the last picture I want to show you is many of them have been turned into an inn, like a hotel or a B&B. And it's, I got a link for you where some of the top 10 in Kyoto are listed. They start as low as $46 a night and go up to a range of on average, maybe 100 to 150 a night. But if you really want a taste of the old world Japan, and especially in Kyoto, it doesn't get any better than that. I will put that so you can enjoy looking through and maybe plan something in the future. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.